To start, tell us about your experience here in New York at the Climate Change Summit and at the Indigenous Peoples Conference.
It's been quite interesting, and it's been encouraging, particularly in one way, because just seeing that 400,000 people march together to express concern for the air we are all breathing and for the planet in which we are all living, it was so encouraging, I think, for all of us, because sometimes we feel isolated in our places, so that was in itself a very powerful thing. I think just that was worth coming here.
What would you say are Guatemala's most pressing environmental concerns?
All the change the climate is having is impacting the daily lives, particularly of women. Because, for instance, they are the ones who had to walk to collect the water for every day's life, and now they had to walk farther every day. But one thing that is happening now that is really making a big impact is mining. Cancer, which was not a common thing in Guatemalan communities, is now, you can find that more and more.
Describe some of the problems that you have witnessed firsthand. For example, the drought there in Guatemala.
Because the climate is changing so much, they don't know exactly when to harvest. The drought that has been increasing during the past few years because of the climate change has also impacted on the food, particularly the corn, which is one for self-consumption and which is also considered a sacred food. It was dried, the whole harvest was dried, and suddenly the rain came very heavily. So all these changes are really impacting, and they are expecting that by the beginning of next year there will be really a need for food. They are already feeling that impact.
Has the Guatemalan government done anything at all to help?
Guatemala is, in general, a very racist country. And indigenous people, who are the majority, have not had, in general, access to resources, health, education. After the peace accords, because we went through an armed conflict for 36 years, indigenous peoples and women, I would say, have opened new spaces and are perhaps the ones that have gotten more from the peace accords. So some spaces have been opened because of the efforts of all these people, and the government of Guatemala has opened spaces for new laws. We have new and good laws, but they are not implemented in general.
Is it possible to protect the earth and the indigenous people's way of life while at the same time allowing growth and development? What needs to be done?
I think that there are many people in the world, and there are many people in Guatemala who are really concerned about these issues, who are making proposals for different ways of life and for taking care of the environment. I think people are more and more conscious of the risks that we all and our planet is confronting. If we listen more to indigenous peoples, not only in Guatemala, in the whole world, I think they have a lot to say about how we can take care of the planet.
Patricia Ardon, thank you so much for your time and your thoughts on Guatemala.